Look at this wonderful day. The birds are singing, the sun is shining, the breeze is fresh. I'm happy to be alive now, and I'm sure nothing is gonna ruin this wonderful day. What's that sound? It's coming from the sky.
Hello, my child. It is I.
Oh my. It's fucking... What are you doing here?
The reason behind my presence is none of your business, mortal, but I require your assistance. The creator of all demands your service as content creator. You must talk about this piece of plastic the humankind call video games.
Okay, I suppose I can play the game. What is it?
Disobey me, and you'll face the consequences.
Oh, of course it's that game.
Megami Tensei, aka How You Owned Saw Pokemon Back in the Day, is a video game franchise that started in July 1987 for all Japanese computers with the legend Megami Tensei. It wasn't until 2 months after that Megami Tensei will increase its popularity with its first official release for video game consoles, Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei for the Famicom system. Despite having some issues like the use of passwords to save your data, disorientation, and high difficulty, this game was a revolutionary JRPG thanks to its immersive game design and the well-implemented mechanic known as demon negotiation and demon fusioning. Until this day, Megami Tensei with main life and spin-offs is considered the 4th most popular JRPG series in Japan, the other 3 being Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, and Pokemon. 7 years and a half after Megami Tensei 1's release, Atlus wanted to celebrate the awesome reception of Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2 by bringing back both Famicom games in one cartridge titled Kyūyaku Megami Tensei for the Super Famicom, with the purpose to add more features and fix some technical limitations the Famicom had with both games. But are those fixes and bonuses enough to make this game playable for today's standards? Let's find it out. Sup guys, Carlos here. It is finally time to continue my journey to play every single Megaten game by talking about another one that a lot of people recommend me, Kyūyaku Megami Tensei, specifically the first one. I prefer not to talk about both games in one video because that will make it more longer than it should be. And also, in my personal opinion, both games deserve to be judged separately. To analyze the game as thoroughly as possible, I'll talk about its most important aspects: gameplay, graphics, story, characters, and soundtrack. If you know how my honest verdict video works, at the end of it I always answer 4 questions. 1. It is a good video game. 2. Should you waste your time to play in it? 3. It is better than the Famicom version? And 4. Is this the best Megaten game of all time? Just like how I did with Megami Tensei months ago, I played this game on my 3DS. The worst possible way to play it, to be honest. So, the footage you are going to watch right now is from other Megaten YouTubers. Big shoutouts to both Buffmeister and Marsh for letting me use their KMT1's footage to make this video possible. I doubt they will watch this video, but still, thank you so much guys. As always, I make the intro even longer than the actual video, so enough wordness for now. Welcome to Kyūyaku Megami Tensei 1, my honest verdict. Kyūyaku 1, as you probably expect, was made to resemble the original game as identically as possible, which means it has the same gameplay as Megami Tensei 1. It has the first-person perspective from a dungeon crawler game, and you still control 2 party members with the option to recruit demons, and so on. As you can see, the game tries to be as identical to the original game as possible, but still has changes that make the experience less tedious, which I'll explain later. The game throws you inside a massive labyrinth connected to the demon world. We are in Mikan City, on the 8th floor of Daedalus Tower, and our first task is to get to the bottom and kill the Minotaur. Huh, that phrase sounds very familiar to me. I wonder where did I hear it before? The first thing you notice is you start the game with 2 party members, Akemi Nakajima, your main physical attacker, and Yumiko Shigarasagi, your primary magic caster and healer. Both of them relies on their weapons and equipment. Unfortunately, guns aren't available here. Those became part of the primary weapons since Megami Tensei 2, so if you have to take down a group of demons and you don't use Yumiko's magic, you'll have to kill them one by one. Your objective is to explore all the areas of the labyrinth, find the demon lords, and kill them to progress. But that task is not gonna be easy. Even though this is a remake that adds essential features such as the possibility to save your progress without using passwords, more places to fuse demons, a map, and more, the game has one of the most difficult beginnings from the Megami Tensei series. I'm not joking when I say that before reaching the first boss, I died at least 5 times. The encounter rate is so fucking high that your worst nightmare is going to be the common encounters instead of the bosses. To make things worse, both Megami Tensei 1 and 2 and its remakes are infamously known for having demons that decrease your levels. At least here appear on the last 2 areas of the game, but still, the sensation of losing a level and some HP is like a kick in the motherfucking balls. Of course, the game needs a gimmick to make things interesting. Aside from the first boss, the Minotaur, to face the other bosses you need to find a special item hidden in each respective area. Some involves getting an item and give it to an NPC, and others requires a guide from the internet. Otherwise, you won't be able to solve the puzzles before Persona 3 gets a remake for how cryptic some of them are. There has to be a way to make the game easier, but what would that be? That's right, you can recruit and fuse demons, the mechanic that made this series famous in the first place.
It is heartbreaking to say this, but you are not going to use that feature as often as you might think.
Recruiting demons is easy. Instead of having a conversation with them, here you just have to persuade them to join at your side. Though the only races you can recruit are Fairy, Yoma, Beast, and Jirai. The reason I said you won't be using this feature that often is because getting a demon through fusion will take some time. The result the Cathedral of Shadows offers always are demons with a higher level than Nakajima's. You won't be able to fuse them until Nakajima reaches that specific level.
Though I'm not sure if it's because I'm a masochist or I really hate myself. Despite those drawbacks are seen during the whole game, it wasn't enough to ruin the experience.
To be honest with you, just like with SMT 1 and 2, Kyūyaku Megami Tensei 1 is a very immersive game, and it's not that long. It took me around 22 hours to finish it. I mentioned that this game has some features that couldn't be included in the Famicom version for how limited the cartridge was, such as saving points and an inventory. You will see most of them in Kyūyaku 2. So, if you want a full experience and some great bonuses, playing the first game is required. Kyūyaku 1 is a very simple and not that difficult game, but because I love giving advices, here you have some tips to make the adventure more enjoyable. Number 1. For Nakajima, invest your levels points into strength and vitality. And once you max those stats, go for intelligence to increase his defense against magic attacks. And for Yumiko, do the same, but invest in intelligence and vitality first, and then go for the strength. Later in the game, you will realize magic only will be efficient to attack a group of demons and to keep healing yourself. That is why you still have to make Yumiko a physical attacker if you can. Number 2. Explore every single room of each area. Most of the rooms are empty, but exploration is needed to progress in this game. Number 3. Recruit Cerberus. He's a level 10 demon, but is one of the tankiest ones you will ever get in a normal encounter. Number 4. Don't doubt to use a guide. There are 2 areas that are very confusing for having 2 different towers depending on which entrance you go. You can find all the maps from this game on the internet. Number 5. Try to fuse your demons as often as possible. Even though I said you won't fuse them as often, getting high level demons will make the difference later on. Kyūyaku 1 has very simple gameplay with some improvements over the original, but if you already played another dungeon crawler game from this era, I'm pretty sure you already experienced more diverse gameplay. The gameplay is far from being bad, but the fact that it is almost identical to the original game ruins the possibility to add new mechanics or make demon fusion more accessible to increase its replayability. In my humble opinion, 6 out of 10 is a fair grade for a remake that adds more bonuses for its sequel than the actual game that needed the most. One of the reasons why this game got the remake treatment is I thought the original game and thought the gameplay looked outdated. Kyūyaku 1's map design were redrawn from the ground up to be more detailed and look more like a labyrinth inside a tower instead of a cave. Not only the dungeons received a redesign, but the demons, NPCs, and bosses were also redesigned to look more clean. For a SNES game, I have to admit that Kyūyaku 1 looks great. The design of each area was so detailed that it's easy to differentiate from each other. Of course, it deserves a 10 out of 10 for how great it looks. That I would say if it wasn't for a small detail that was discarded from the Famicom version. Instead of telling you what is it, I'll put a short gameplay of both games to see if you can find out what is missing. I'll give you 3 seconds. Do you notice what the Super Famicom version lacks? That's right, it's the immensity the original game has. This might sound contradictory considering as you say this game offers a very immersive experience, but hear me out first. The original game was released in 1987 for the Famicom. A game released in those years didn't have enough power to handle high detail backgrounds, and this lack of detail is like a ring on a finger for Megami Tensei 1. The lack of details makes the experience surprisingly terrifying and more immersive than its remake. Some demons even have impressive sprite works to make them look like a real threat. Kyūyaku 1 doesn't have bad graphics, but is far behind the original game. 7 out of 10. This is probably the aspect that everyone watching this video already knows, considering how memeable the protagonist is. To explain Kyūyaku 1's story, I'll use footage from the original Megami Tensei, because I like how it is explained in that game. Akemi Nakajima is the smartest student in his school, but suffers bullying from some of his classmates. To get the revenge he desires so much, develops a computer program to summon demons to the real world. But the program goes out of control and 2 demons escape from the computer, Loki and Seth. Nakajima is saved by his girlfriend Yumiko and both defeated the demons. Unfortunately for them, the demon lord Lucifer brings them back to life as his minions and kidnaps Izanami in an attempt to conquer the human world. Nakajima with his demon summoning program and Yumiko with his magic abilities enter the labyrinth to rescue Izanami and defeat the demon lords. That is all the story you are going to get from this game. Aside from the intro, there isn't a single dialogue line that extends the lore of Megami Tensei 1 and its remake. This is one of the lowest aspects of this game, and especially in the remake where the story isn't as detailed as the original game. 4 out of 10. What is an undeveloped story without undeveloped characters? Kyūyaku 1 has the same character cast from the original game. Nakajima, a smart student with the power of summoning demons. Yumiko, a kind girl with the power to cast magic. And that's about it. The other characters are the antagonists, the Demon Lords. Though, unlike Megami Tensei 1's Demon Lords, here they just provoke you and start the battle. They don't offer a single line of dialogue that might affect you or leave you thinking about your actions. Nope, here they act like bad guys and that's it. The only one that shines over the rest is Lucifer. He gives the same message as always. I'm not the bad guy, there is one more powerful than me that is controlling everything. You know, the same thing he always says. I'm not mad about the lack of character development. After all, this is a 100% legit remake of the original game. And that is exactly what I'm pissed about it. Atlus had the opportunity to make Kyūyaku 1 the definitive option to play this game by adding more content and give both Nakajima and Yumiko some interaction to know them each other, but no, they fucking stick with the same product of 7 years ago and added 16-bit graphics and music. 4 out of 10 again. Atlus wasted the opportunity to give proper lore to both Nakajima and Yumiko. Even fucking Megami Tensei 1 had Tatsuya and Mio talking each other. At last, one of my favorite aspects of the Mega Ten series. Since its first release, Megami Tensei gained the reputation of being one of the video game franchises with a top-tier soundtrack, and this game isn't an exception. Just relax and listen to some of the tracks that I put in this video. The remake soundtrack is great. There is nothing I have to say about it. 10 out of 10.
What? Do you want to hear the original soundtrack? Okay. But why? It is impossible that that soundtrack is better.
Wow, I never thought the original game has such an incredible soundtrack. Just for that, Kyūyaku 1 soundtrack deserves an 8 out of 10. It is finally time to give Kyūyaku Megami Tensei 1 the grade it deserves, as well as answer the questions I said at the beginning of this video. We analyzed every aspect of this game, and this is the result. We got 6 on gameplay, 7 on graphics, 4 on story, 4 on characters, and 8 on soundtrack, which gives the total of 6 out of 10, leaving Kyūyaku 1 on the same tier than Persona 1 and Megami Tensei 1. Now allow me to answer the interrogatives I presented to you at the beginning of the video. Is Kyūyaku Megami Tensei 1 a good video game? Absolutely! Despite its flaws, I like this game a lot. Also, it's one of the shortest Megaten games, so everyone can give it a try. Should you waste your time playing it? Unlike Megami Tensei 1, this is a game I do recommend. The experience is great with or without a fast forward option activated, and just like I said before, it's a pretty short game.
You are not going to waste too much time as I did with Megami Tensei 1.
77 hours! What the fuck? It is better than the Famicom version? That's a question I can't answer now. On the only aspect I can say for sure that is better than the original game is in the gameplay, which was the main purpose why Atlus remade this game in the first place. I'll eventually make an honest verdict video about the original Megami Tensei, but not for now. Is Kyūyaku Megami Tensei 1 the best game in the franchise? No, it isn't, and I'm sure you already knew this was coming. However, I do recommend playing this game if you want to start your journey through the older Megami Tensei games.
Wow! I enjoyed that game quite a lot. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my child. I apologize to inform you that your task hasn't been finished. You must play one last game.
Another Megaten game, huh? Okay, I suppose I have no other choice. Throw me there. Oh, I see now.
It's kinda funny to remember how my obsession for this franchise started. Who would have thought that an innocent game such as SMT4 would drag me into the deepest of this franchise? Not me, if you ask me. Haha. So, now what? Weeks ago, I made an open poll on my community section about which are my next projects to let you choose the next one. If you want to participate in the poll, you still have time to do it.
Thanks for your continued support, guys. You have no idea how much it means to me. And that is all for today. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.